AEW is doing it. It's doing it. WWE is fighting WWF right now. It's fighting Attitude Era WWF. It's so fascinating, and I'm going to talk about it. Like and subscribe. And if you're subscribed, watch more goddamn videos. All our views are coming from people who aren't subscribed to us. We got a decent amount of subscribers. So, anyways, here's my thoughts. 1. Keith Lee and Karrion Kross are likely to go to AEW. Big stars. I don't like Karrion Kross at all, but I love Keith Lee. This reminds me, this is like AEW keeps absorbing all this great talent that WWE is just throwing aside for budget reasons. And the theory is that WWE is planning on selling its company. So every quarter, its profit margin's bigger because it has less people to pay. So I think Vince doesn't want to give it down to old Triple H. He wants to sell it, get rid of it. I think he's accepting the L, which is fascinating. I think he's old and he's accepting it. So right now, current WWE has to fight against the Attitude Era version of itself because now that AEW is like 60% WWE guys, and it's a more for adult show like Attitude Era was, it's WWE fighting its former self. It's fighting its past. It's fascinating. And the billionaire who runs it, Vince can't buy him out like he did WCW. So he can't really beat him the way he did before. So he's fighting a billionaire, but a billionaire who walks out, because I went to an AEW show recently, I've gone to 2 so far, and he walks out and he talks to the crowd. And he's so grateful to see everybody, something Vince doesn't do. And what you have is a war of billionaires, but one of them, I think, knows that WWE going public was the worst thing it ever did. Because it going public means he had to rely on sponsorship money and keep his freaking people happy, his stock people happy. And they need to be able to make it more family friendly to the crush, to the disadvantage of itself. It makes them not be able to compete against what wrestling should be, which is more for adults. And AEW is more so a wrestling should be. People look for how wrestling was, and that's why when you watch a show of AEW, the crowd is, and I've been to an AEW show, the crowd is so into it. Everyone's obsessed with it. They're like an army of zombies. And they have one guy in the middle just telling them what to do and what to say, and they're screaming and freaking out. WWE though, their shows, the crowd is much more relaxed. Like they don't care what's happening as much. And you watch the TV shows, the crowd is way less into it than an AEW show. And I think it's because wrestling is to be a certain way. It's like, it's supposed to be more for teen and adult. And when they tried to cater for teen and kids, like WWE's doing, it just doesn't work. And now that they're taking Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, I think this is just the nail in the coffin. Like, Charlotte Flair's probably coming next. She's right there. She's being a cunt backstage, I think, because she wants to get fired and go be with Andrade El Idolo. So when she does that, and especially with the little focus they have in their women's division in WWE, most of their matches are like 2 minutes and then trick pins, roll-ups. I think the women's division is gonna die. I think WWE is on its final 4 years, maybe, before it has like a different name and a different branding and it's totally something else. But I think AEW did it. I think they know they did it. I think they know the beast is dying, the dragon's going to sleep. It's fascinating. And all that would change if Triple H ran the company. Him and HBK ran the original NXT, and you could tell what they wanted to do with it. They wanted to bring back the Attitude Era, more rough and gruff wrestling. But old Vince has to keep those people happy, those investors. So, what do you think's happening? You think AEW finally did it? You think this is just a time bomb till they've completely won every rating show, every episode, all the time? I think it is. I think Keith Lee, Karrion Kross going to be there soon, and same with Charlotte. Becky would be cool in AEW. I love Becky in AEW.